Welcome back to another rebuild on the channel. We are going to be doing the Minnesota Vikings here today on Madden 23, and we start looking at the offense, a team that has lost a bunch of their veterans here recently, a team that, honestly, with the Adam Thielen release, it almost feels like they're in more of a rebuild mode than you would expect. Don't get me wrong, Thielen was, past his prime, if you will. He wasn't as good as he once was, but considering the dead hit they took, you would think if they're in win now mode, they would have just kept him on the roster. But I suppose, it's the Vikings. Who knows what their plans are? Is Dalvin Cook going to be gone? Is Za'Darius going to be gone? I don't know. But one thing is for sure, Justin Jefferson is him. And Kirk Cousins, a lot better than people give him credit for. There is at least, I think off the top of my head, minimum 10 teams that wish they had Kirk Cousins at quarterback. At minimum. It might even get all the way to half the league. It really wouldn't surprise me. So much better than people give him credit for. Don't get me wrong, they do have a really good offense around him. And the offensive line, speaking of, played pretty damn well across the board. Able to get Bradbury back. I don't know why the guards are switched, but able to get Bradbury back on a pretty fair contract. Darisaw, why is he only an 81 overall? I don't know. I would probably put him near like an 87 plus, but I don't want people to cry if I change rosters again. Hawkinson's good, but once again, another guy that's maybe a little too high, maybe 87 overall would be a little more fair. But defense, this is really where the hit happened, right? No Patrick Peterson, no Eric Kendricks, no Dalvin Tomlinson. Of course, now you're down to Byron Murphy, who they just signed, and then Andrew Booth, who got injured. And honestly, the limited time he played didn't look great anyways. I know they said that he was doing well in preseason. Or maybe I'm thinking of Kyler Gordon. I don't know, but somebody was doing well in preseason. Preseason don't mean a damn thing. Lewis Cine, I mean, who knows? But he's, at the moment, the projected starting free safety, so there's that. I didn't change anything to do with Harrison Smith's contract because I don't know what is happening with that. Somehow he's expected to make $8 million in 2023 with like a chance to be 10 when his contract doesn't say that, and the Vikings had no like leverage in that. So unless his agent just went full dumb mode or Harrison Smith is like the nicest guy of all time, I don't know how in the world they would have agreed to a restructure 1 year 10 when he's due way more than that and just guaranteed money. I don't know what the hell is going. I don't know. It is what it is. But Harrison Smith is back. That's all I can tell you. As far as everything else, though, linebacker definitely needs an upgrade, but Hicks apparently is here for another season. Asamoah, potential, definite potential. And then Za'Darius Smith. I don't really know what's going on here. He's like a great player, but man, does he seem like a bad teammate. I can't, allegedly. I don't know. I'm just on the outside looking in. I see that. I will say the Ravens contract was worse than what Minnesota offered technically, but backs out of that contract, a good portion of the reason is to play against the Packers twice a season and get revenge. Super disgruntled because he got released from a team that is against the cap anyways after missing the full season due to an injury. And then now he leaves after a really good year with Minnesota in general, not even for himself, but just in general with the team, and he wants to leave. I don't know what's going on with him. They said they have no plans on releasing him, so I guess I have no plans on releasing him. I'd probably trade him, if anything, and then Marcus Davenport, a guy that, if, speaking of injuries, can actually stay healthy. He's a really good player. He just never stays healthy. That's the problem. So looking at the draft, don't think I'm going to spend any more in free agency. Dean Lowry, speaking of. Don't really like that move for them, honestly. Like, I get you needed somebody and they're desperate, but, man, as a Packers fan, Dean Lowry, dude. Oof. I mean, when he was on, he was pretty good, but he's, like, never on is the problem. Corner's obviously an option. I've seen, like, everyone and their grandmother is projecting them Deonte Banks. But wide receivers obviously a huge need as well, and draft picks are lessened because of the TJ Hawkinson trade, which still in the end is probably worth it. Josh Oliver, kind of making me think Alan Lazard is going to play tight end for the Jets because he got paid a lot basically to block, so I guess there's value in that. But regardless, let's head to the draft where I know a lot of people don't like me trading down all the time. I might trade down. Obviously, the 5th-year option is going to be used on Justin Jefferson. This team would be so screwed if you couldn't do that, which is, once again, I know I always bring it back to my favorite team, the Packers, but why I'm so mad that they just missed out on Christian Watson being a first-rounder. Why they didn't just try to get to 32 or something for that pick, I don't know. I would have made the trade up and then traded up again. I know they were probably trying to wait to see how things fell, but man, not having that 5th-year option, look where Minnesota would be if somehow he was like, pick 33 instead of where he went. They'd be in some trouble. So I have removed all of the quarterbacks off of the Carolina Panthers if they don't take QB here. Thank you! Finally! Let's go. Of course, there's been conflicting reports that they see multiple players as the first pick overall, and they may still trade down, which I think would be the smart thing. I think we also should have picked 23 and not 24, so I will fix that, because that's big. It's big, especially when it's the Ravens, who have kind of similar needs to this team. Hey, we had Stroud, Young, and Will Anderson going top 3. Anthony Richardson at 4, so far a very commonly projected mock. And at 5, Jalen Carter. I know, the drills didn't look great from him, but still could very well be a possibility. Nolan Smith at 6. Now that would be a little unexpected, believe it or not. Just a little bit. The Bears at 9 end up with Lucas Van Ness. Fair enough, I suppose. Cornerback for the Eagles would be a steal. Mayer to the Titans, maybe. Kincaid to the Texans. I don't know if I see that as the biggest need. And this is kind of Brazee to the Packers, though. I've seen Levis go there a lot. Levis isn't going to make it past, 7, so I can't really make the argument to take Levis, even though they did. The Steelers could kind of use D-line. Brazee's still there. Do you not make the trade-up if you're Minnesota? You need some penetration from the interior. Yeah, I said it. There's no 3rd next year. Man, Hawkinson better be good. It's just, oh, man. You can't hate the trade, though. It is what it is. It would cost us a 2nd next year, though. I don't think I can. I'm going to let it happen. Skoronski. There's, how is he even still here, to be honest? The Lions are, they could, but they wouldn't. He's still here at 19. This shouldn't cost you more than a 3rd, which we sadly don't even have. Well, actually, we do have a 3rd. 87, though. We would have, nothing. But you also still do have the wide receivers, right? Zay Flowers, another guy that's highly projected to go to them. Quentin Johnson would be kind of sick. JSN would be great. That's another Thielen, basically. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to let it happen. If Brazee goes before us, that's fine. As of right now, I'm okay. We have all the players we want. Ooh, I really want a JSN, though. Draft Brazee. Now, if Quentin Johnson goes before a pick, okay, so I really actually wanted JSN. I really thought about it, and I really wanted JSN the most out of all those players. Paris Johnson's never reaching this. Bijan Robinson, though, that's not a bad decision, especially if Dalvin Cook is gone. Like I said, I've seen so many Deontay Banks. I've seen so many Zay Flowers. Oh, man, Quentin Johnson is so hard to pass on, but Zay Flowers is a new guy for me. I've never had him in these drafts. He's projected to be around here as well, and it'd be interesting. Man, I really wanted Njigba, dude. I really did, but he's not there. Do I really go Zay Flowers? Man. Still do have Deontay Banks. Recently did a rebuild with him. He was very good in it, but do I really want to double up? I just think in Madden sense, you absolutely need a wide receiver here, whereas corner, Booth can develop. And obviously they paid Byron a decent bit. You could always use more than 2 corners, but wide receiver is definitely the bigger need in Madden here. I'm actually going to go Zay Flowers. It's a new name for me, and the Minnesota Vikings do kind of seem to like those smaller wide receivers. Maybe not this small. Thankfully, he's hidden. If he was normal, that would have been such a sell. Maybe not this small, but they do like those smaller wide receivers, and everyone seems to be mocking him there. So, I'm going to fall for the mocks for once. Could you imagine Paris Johnson of the Chiefs that was a 32? No shot. Get out of here. Of course, I did drop far, but no matter how much talent is there, we have no value to trade up with. Ooh, Jermon Dexter, though. Jervon Dexter. I need a D lineman badly. Jervon or Thule. I think I'm going to move until one of those guys is gone, and then I think we have to trade up. Our D-line is strugglesome. Oh, Wooden as well. So 3 options. They might go back to back to back. That's what we need to work on, I think. Corner's nice, too. You got Garrett Wilson, but let's... Williams. My brain just goes where it wants to go, all right? Just like you may want to go... Oh, my God, they did kind of go back to back to back. Wooden's not a bad choice, though, so we're going to go the Broncos and get him, I guess. Really wanted someone new like Thule, but... I was hoping... Oh, they have back-to-back picks. See, the problem is they'd probably be more willing to trade the pick that's behind it, right? It is what it is. 87 and 120. Oh, not enough. I was going to do some, like, sellout to say like and subscribe. Completely forgot, so there's that. That's great. Yeah, our picks are looking good, dude. We may need to trade Za'Darius at this rate. But what is Za'Darius worth? At best, a third because of his age, you know, and his attitude, really, more than anything. Once again, allegedly. I don't know, but... kind of seems like that way. Oh, man, Garrett Wilson, though. Do we have other D linemen? I think we're like Benton, Pickens, Coburn. I definitely want Coburn if I can get him. Wooden is a huge need. Corner, though. Garrett Williams would be great. So would Kyu Blue Kelly, though. Nah, I'm going to go Wooden. I need D line. That's like the biggest issue. I know the pass defense in general isn't great for Minnesota, but I really need... D-line, and the corners still might be there. Okay, Cam Smith is gone, even though he should be way gone before then. Tyler Scott is another reason why I didn't really want to go for Zay Flowers. But it's a new name, and like I said, he's been mocked there quite a bit, so what can I do? What can I do? I'm just falling for the mocks. But yeah, if Njigba was there, it would 100% have been him, without a doubt. But at the same time, there's a good chance that... Oh, Garrett Williams is gone. There is a good chance that guys like Quentin and JSN will be gone before even 20. So, who knows? But as far as what I want to do here, I want to pay attention to where Kyu Blue... And I want to make sure that these guys are actually going to be here in real life, you know? It's not going to be perfect. You know, there could be guys that move up. You know, there's those classic 4th-round guys that go high second. You know, but as far as, like... You know, guys that are pretty much locks to be a way higher. You know, I don't want to grab like a 4th round running back in the 7th. I actually don't think I can trade up. This is like one of the worst depth draft pick teams I've seen. Let's just see that cornerback. One of those corners just slip down to 5. That'd be perfect. And it happened. All right. There's a good chance that's where we go. Mr. Kyu Blue Kelly, welcome to the squad. Still hidden development trade. Nice. Got ourselves another Andrew Booth. A little bit faster, though. And, of course, the Chiefs take Jaren Hall. I was kidding you not about to trade up for him right there to have that quarterback option, but, oh, well, it's the Kirk Cousins show yet again. I guess now we wait till the linebackers start to go, make a play on them. I wanted Coburn so bad, I just don't think it's going to happen. Man, we're doing such a bad job of keeping draft picks. We traded our 4th next to get a high 5th from the Raiders, which I don't know if I'm going to use on either Coburn or a linebacker. Like I said, I think we could live with a bad linebacker, plus there's so many more than there are Coburns, so I actually want the nose tackle Coburn. Keandre Coburn, welcome to the squad. I think Dean Lowry is just backup level talent at this point, and I know they paid him a 2-year $8, whatever, who cares? Also coming out with no lineman is a definite move. It's something. And it's a little bit later than where he's projected, but I'm going to be grabbing Chase Brown, the running back here, as this team is obviously in a weird spot at running back, you know, re-signing Alexander Madison as like a safety net, and then taking, you know, their thoughts probably with Dalvin Cook. I don't know what they're going to do with him, to be honest, but the fact that guys like him and Za'Darius are still on the roster at this physical point tells me there's a good chance that they do just stick around, though, no? Not coming away with an off-ball linebacker. Definitely a move. Definitely a move, but I think we did about as well as we could with a limited draft class. However, we created a more limited draft class for next year. I will say, you know, it sucks not having like 6th or 7th or 5ths, but they already didn't have that 3rd, so a 1st and a 2nd, nothing else, isn't the worst. We've seen the Rams do a lot worse than that. But 74 overall for our new wide receiver, too. Wooden, 72 overall starter. Kyu Blue Kelly probably gets the nod over Booth, even though, you know, we think, oh, well, Booth sitting, learning. But, you know, the injury kind of sets him back anyways, so Kyu Blue is number 2. Coburn probably starts at that nose tackle spot, and then Chase Brown backup, I guess, and I don't really think there's any point in looking at anything else. I mean, we kind of know where a lot of the guys go, and I mean, other than Zay Flowers maybe being like a superstar or something, which I highly doubt it, it's not really much more we need to look at. But yeah, I mean, it's a late drafting, no second-round draft pick having Minnesota Vikings team. What can I tell you? There's only so much we could have done. And I paid Alexander Madison. Where the hell is he? It's the only thing that sucks about these rebuilds is, like, it takes so much prep. It took me, like, 45 minutes to prep the rebuild. And, you know, guys like Garrett Bradbury, even though I edited their contracts to have extra years before, what is that called? Before, you know, going to the re-sign process, they still were like, well, you didn't do it soon enough, so screw you. Don't get me wrong, with Chase Brown, I would prefer not to have him, but at this point, Alexander Madison is a very good player for them in general. Wow, they got him on a super steal. Holy. Hey, look, a bunch of extra picks for the following year I can dip into. Woo! So I haven't really done a whole lot of sims of the Vikings playbooks, but I am curious to see how it goes. Zay Flowers, the new wide receiver number 2. Jefferson on the 5th-year option. Obviously, we got to do whatever we can to keep him around. And offensive line is not great overalls, but once again, pretty good players. They just, he doesn't know what they're doing. Okay, let's just all accept that. And look at Hawkinson, already a upgrade point for him. And then defensively, a lot of normal devs, I will admit, but at least with Coburn and Wooden and Asamoah, they're all young. They're all on 23 or younger, and they all have potential. Cornerbacks are set. Hopefully we get some upgrades for them. Booth is kind of being wasted by us with Kyu Blue Kelly, but he just has a little bit more potential, and Booth coming off of a surgery, right? So, I mean, it is what it is. Scene, I suppose, kind of thrust it in there. He has no choice. We don't have a backup for him, so that's pretty much that. Davenport, it's a one-year deal. They're not the greatest in cap space, obviously, but as far as would you rather have Za'Darius starting or not, I would choose him, and there's been no for sure signs that they're moving on from him. You can request release all you want, but, with the weird contract situation he's in there, it's just like, work it through. You kind of agreed to the contract, dude. It's not like you're 1 year remaining. There's 2 years remaining. You only played 1 year out of the 3. It's like your agent and you have made the mistake, all right? Yes, Wooden. Yes. Dev up for Wooden. Normal dev means nothing. If anything, it's a bonus for D lineman because you get that 10K XP plus. Or sometimes 5 if you're unlucky like me. Not a bad upgrade for Kyu Blue Kelly here, man. Coverage +1, zone +1, speed +1, like +1 everything. 88 million, but you have got to imagine that it's going to get ugly. And it is. It is indeed. So there's at least 4 names here that we need and are very expensive. You're kind of saying that you're going to be against the wall again, assuming you're paying all these players, which, I mean, I feel like you put that many eggs into the basket of TJ Hawkinson, and he's played as, pretty well. Deserves it. Danielle Hunter, I mean, he's a good pass rusher if he's healthy, which he's kind of been healthy now. Could find a better offer. Great. So 57 mil after offering contracts. Maybe we're not as screwed as I thought. Davenport, as much as... Oh, that's actually not a bad contract, but Davenport's got to go. I don't care. Like, he's kind of just like a safety net at this point, in my opinion. I'll do a 3-year 15 for Ezra. Yay! Somebody decided to stay. Sweet. Osborne has been up and down. He's not a bad overall. 2-year 12 is not terrible either, but we've got our top 2. Do we not just fill number 3 with just speedsters every season and let it fly? I don't know. We need to save money somewhere. Got to save it somewhere. And like I said, I think we're going to try to keep Kirk Cousins going. I don't want to fix him every season because I feel like 35 is kind of pushing it. I know guys like Brady and Rodgers are starting to put they've made it seem like, oh well, 39 is like the average age. 35 even is pretty long for a quarterback to be playing. So it's tough. But if he continues to play the way he has right there, I kind of have to. I think I have to. We turned it around. The season wasn't looking good. They turned it around. Can they make the playoffs though? They lose, but they're still in. One last hurrah. Who the hell is that? Is that Harrison? I mean, in fairness, it probably will be, right? No? Am I wrong to think this? Harrison Smith? I mean, we need the morale boost in general, so why not? And I think he probably should be gone after the season, so fair enough. Weak link is the defense. Let's just not talk about it. Okay, Mahomes, Rodgers, and then Ritter. 3 names you'd expect to see. Looking at the season, though, really bad start. Turned it around nicely. Huge loss to the Lions, though, which sucks, but still in the playoffs, which is a win. Green Bay leading the division. I'm sure it will happen. I know they still have Rodgers here, but I suppose Love, he has potential. There's a chance. That's good enough, in my opinion. Like, if he drops down to like a 75 overall, that wouldn't be fair, right? Am I wrong to think this? Dalvin Cook was decent. We had both running backs kind of playing. They're both pretty... Oh, no, we didn't. Brown had a lot of touchdowns, but he sucked. Love it. Flowers, not bad. Jefferson, great, but low for real life. Osborne, not bad. Hawkinson, not worth the money, but, it's Madden after all. Blocking was decent for Madden's concerns. Linebackers were decent. Sack totals were awful. Wooden was amazing, but the edge, 10 combined, basically, for those two. That's awful. Harrison Lasserabity was great. Byron maybe good enough for a superstar dev, I'm hoping. And then Greg Joseph, yuck. Good punting. Chase Brown with a kick return touchdown. Let's take a look at the numbers. Or the awards, I suppose. MVP goes to Hurts. Any award win at all? We did not have one. Sweet. But we have a playoff berth, which, considering the amount of veterans this team lost, you never know. The Panthers 12-5 with Stroud. That's all they needed, apparently. Kicker from the Bengals. Apparently, I don't know what the hell's happening, dude. I did also see that the Bengals were like 5-11. They were 5-10 when we beat them. 5-11 for the Bengals team. Interesting, to say the least. Let's go to the end of the game, though. Let's see what we got. The Panthers up by 7. Defense didn't really even play that badly. It was just the offense gave them a short field. 14-0. Right now, it's not the defense's fault. You can't expect the defense to hold forever when you're not even able to score any points. So we're going to lose 42-0. EA thinks the Panthers are beating the Vikings 42-3 next season. I'm sure of it, let alone the playoffs. Kirk with nothing going for him. Stroud with the perfect game ever. What the hell is this sim? The sim logic in this game is so bad. You give me 2 drives on any difficulty and I'm at least putting up 1 with this Vikings team. Are you serious? One last hurrah. Let's see what Harrison has to say. I'd be like, yeah, I'm definitely gone now. That was awful. See you later. Harrison had a look on his face I'll never forget. Yeah, who wouldn't? 42-3? I'll give me like a 25-year-old, coming off of the best season ever, and I'd freaking have a look of defeat on my face after 42-3. Bills versus Packers in the Super Bowl, with their winner of this one being the Packers, apparently. All right, let's take a look at the DevOps. Offense, probably none. Yeah, Kirk actually didn't regress that hard, so if I can keep him, I will. Flowers, obviously, the number 2. What are we doing here? And then defensively, should see, Wooden and Byron Murphy. That's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good. No strong safety. Obviously, Harrison Smith just retired. But Byron on that 2-year getting to superstar is pretty nice. Zone coverage is great. Man coverage sucks, but not bad. Not bad at all. And then Wooden going to superstar is awesome, but still need a DT probably, or nose tackle, if you will. Need a linebacker for sure. Safety, obviously. And then quarterback's always on the mind. So we'll have to see what kind of cap situation we're in going forward. But Kirk likely gets at least a 1 more year chance. And apparently we have $100 million, which I don't know how true that is. But I think we have to pay Kirk. We have no choice. He's been way too consistent. You want to call him average, slightly above average. That's still better than a lot of teams have in the league. And I don't think you throw that away if you're this team. Don't think you throw it away at all. 1 year, 31. I'll still offer the 1 year, 38. Okay, I guess, if that's what you want to do. Apparently he's gone. Sweet, dude, I'm not tagging him. How much was the tag, actually? I could tag him, but... man. Do I really want to tag Kirk Cousins? He's still good, but, do you not just tear it down? We made the playoffs, so we can't really get a good quarterback this season either. What do you do? What do you do? I guess we let him go to free agency. Do I really want a Jaron Hall just so we'd have an option? But now we're $100 million team with no quarterback. Lamar Jackson, obviously he wouldn't be a free agent. He wouldn't be a free agent. Maybe a free agent. But most players that are decent, you would expect them to at least be traded rather than just be a straight-up free agent, right? So not really realistic. No one has an offer on Kirk Cousins. I think that wouldn't be true. But I'm going to offer him a 1 year, 34, and if he takes it, he takes it. He doesn't, well, we're in a bit of a hole. But yeah, there are some insane free agents here, at some crazy positions. Derrick Henry, that's insane. Claypool and Darnell Mooney, they're like, we finally got you some wide receivers. Oh, sorry. Like, we just going to let them all go, I guess. Wouldn't be bad to add like a number 3. Chark would actually be kind of a good name, but I'd probably rather just go with some youngster. So I offered a bunch of players. Darnell Savage is one of the guys I got, a 2-year 15, very on brand with the whole like Vikings always having some sort of ex-Packer on their roster that was a Packer the year before. Don't know what it is, but it's kind of just fact at this point. And we do get Kirk Cousins on the 1-year 34, but Miles Jack is still playing hardball. No one's really willing to offer more than we have. Cardinals have finally matched it, if you will, but I'm willing to do like a 3-year 30. I'll go up to 3-year 32 just to bump it slightly, but that's kind of my maximum at this point, I think. Man, Lamar not getting a contract is so much pain. It's so stupid, though. Like, why would these guys be in free agency? Like, it's just, they would trade them before they hit the free agency, obviously. And let's see, we obviously didn't get Miles Jack. Where did he end up going? A 4-year 36 to the Arizona Cardinals when we offered him a 3-year 32. I'm sure that's how that works. I'm sure of it. Jordan Brooks, man, he's not going to be a guy that's going to be in free agency for the Seahawks. And if he is, he won't be in free agency just yet, I don't think. But I'm desperate, and we should have had Miles Jack, so I'm just going to do what I can. It's either us or the Lions anyways. So in theory, we got a better player for technically cheaper who is younger. Maybe not better, because his coverage is actually really bad compared to Miles Jack, but there's nothing I can do. It is what it is. Jordan Brooks is a Minnesota Viking. What can I tell you? You know, Bobby Wagner's been passed around. Maybe not as in his prime as Jordan Brooks is here, but a better player for sure. You know, more times than anyone would have expected. So it is what it is. Linebackers get weird. They get all weird inside. I don't know what that means, but still need a linebacker. As Jordan Hicks shouldn't even probably be here, especially since now we have 2 Jordans. Like, that's just rude. But corner, I think, is fine. Safety, at least for the moment, is fine with Savage moving over to strong. He's actually a lot better than I would have expected, which is why I offered him. And then DT, I think, still is a need. Left end, probably still a need, but O-line, maybe. Wide receiver wouldn't hurt, I guess. Quarterback is probably the number 1, but there's going to be a lot of trade downs in this season because, once again, we only have 2 draft picks, a first and a second, and they're both, like, not great. So probably going to have to trade down quite a bit to get some 4ths and 5ths, probably. Maybe some 3rds. Unless someone's there that's great at 19. You know, it's a decent pick. I think, like I said, it's going to be trade down city. All right, so there is about 4 decent quarterbacks. One of them is expected to go higher than his teammates that look better, if you will. Competitors, if you will. Jared Driver. Could you imagine we actually got Patrick Gregory, who's from Minnesota? That'd be kind of sick. But there's 3 teams nearby here that are looking for quarterback, I would imagine. I'm just hoping none of the teams that are unexpected, like the Texans or the Colts, do take a quarterback. That'd be really stupid. This will be a QB for sure. This could be a QB, which worries me. It's not, which is a win. This won't be QB. The next one will be. The Jets Oh, it won't! The Jets probably will be. Yes, Patrick Gregory. No! The only 2 quarterbacks are... No, the 2 to 3. He's not bad by any means, but 2 to 3 probably means he sucks, probably. Keith Hayden looks good, but Cincinnati, I don't know if they kept Burrow. I mean, we could continue moving, assuming some stupid team doesn't take a quarterback when they don't need one. Lions could. If they don't, that'd be great. They don't. The Chiefs shouldn't. And here we are at the Buccaneers, Chargers, and Rams. We're screwing ourselves for the future again, but pick 19, a 2nd and a 4th next year for 11 to grab the QB of the future. The Buccaneers have Tanner McKee, who's actually star development trade, I believe. With 70s, like basically 82 across the board. Hell, maybe I could have let them grab him and I would have traded for Tanner McKee. Would have been a good number 2. Would have costed me like maybe a 3rd or a 4th. But we're going to have the QB of the future, hopefully, in Keith Hayden. I do worry a little bit that, he was passed upon. Don't get me wrong, the other guy that we were looking at that was from Minnesota, I think was, a top 5. So I guess if he's top 5 and this guy's round 1, then the top 5 is better. So I think he's worth the trade up, Keith Hayden. There you go. Hidden development trait. That's all you could ask for. 92 throw power, 83 speed isn't bad either. Not a bad pick. Next pick, though, is pick 19. I mean, we can't trade up. Unless we're willing to trade our first round next year, we just can't trade up. All right, we trade 51 this, 188 next. Don't worry about the running back. For 73 and 83 from the Lions, Calhoun is there. I think I got to go Calhoun. I still kind of want Roy Hood. He's super strong. He's that nose tackle type, but UDFA, which is a little strange, to be honest. O-line wouldn't hurt, especially Tommy Buchanan. Calhoun's my guy. A finesse move, 21 years old. Very fast, very strong. He's my dude. And he's my hidden dude. Okay, like I said, these high finesse guys, a lot of the times they are normal dev. This time, though, not so much. We actually turned Ed Ingram, because we're assuming this lineman's better than him, which, I mean, it's not going to take much. Ed Ingram's like a 25-year-old, into a 6 next year. So Ed Ingram and 83 to move up 5 spots and gain a 6, which I think is definitely fair. Ed Ingram hasn't been bad. It's just his ceiling is just awful. And I'll try not to say ceiling too much. Last rebuild, it was like a damn roofers episode. But yeah, Tommy Buchanan looks great. Not as athletic, not super athletic, but super good looking, and those key ratings are insane. Thank you for being hidden, but I will say, this is just a bonus, because those key ratings, if they're even anywhere near true, he's good. Like, he looks really good. That's one of the best, like, CPU prospects based on key ratings that I've ever seen. Like, he had A's across and some B's. I mean, like, the base key ratings, I don't remember what the hell his, like, back page looked like. But do we have any linebackers left? We don't. Oh, Elton Barrett, though. I don't know why I said Barnett. Kind of a big dude. Do you not take him and play him at linebacker? B, block shedding? It's probably a lie, but I can't trade up, though. That's the problem. I did it again. We have no picks for next year. Even worse than previous years. 6 foot tall, 221. I mean, I've seen smaller linebackers. I've seen smaller, and he's very athletic, which can make up for that size. And he is normal, but that's fine. 89 speed, 91 excel, change direction 80, jumping 80. That's very linebacker-like numbers, in my opinion. We get 205 and 210 for 174. We need the depth. If I can get a punter and a wide receiver with those picks, that would be great. Don't really need a punter this moment, but there's a really good kick power punter, which he had B accuracy. So last time I took someone that looked like that, they were a generational punter. So, I mean, it is what they're all gone, even the punter. Oh, no, I'm stupid. Wait, why is it, like, glitching out? Please. Okay. What's his name? DeMar Bishop, 6'1", with some speed. That's a pretty good-looking 3 I see there. Very good speed. Everything else sucks. Airplane. And then with the final pick, we will have a punter, which, sure, we lost a lot for next year, but depending on how good this this quarterback is, no generational. It's worth it, right? Like, if it's a good quarterback and we have ourselves the future franchise, and it didn't cost us much more than, like, a second and a couple of, later picks, it's worth it, right? Like, I can't believe they fell. I got to compare all the QBs, obviously, but I'm curious to see. Let's see. Come on. 74, 75? 75! The DT is a good overall. The center is good. Free safety, not so good, and I imagine he'd be even lower at linebacker. Wide receivers is 69. But let's take a look at this quarterback, Mr. Keith Hayden. 82 deep, 79 medium, 84 short. Yeah, Tampa Bay should have definitely taken him instead of trading, but I suppose they added, some picks for next year, and also they already have their quarterback, apparently. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, they should have went for Hayden. Oh my. Oh my, indeed. I don't know how that's going to be beat. Tavares Calhoun, probably the heaviest guy is going to play nose tackle, I'd say, because Harrison Phillips should start. I don't know, dude. Maybe Calhoun does play left end. Star development trade. Calhoun's got to start, though, right? Like, he has to start. And then Tommy Buchanan's our new right guard. Like we said, athleticism isn't great. Power blocking isn't great. He's kind of built to play tackle more than anything. Maybe he's our new left tackle if we can't afford Darisaw. I did give him the 5th-year option, so that's a year from now idea, but 75 overall guard, I'm just saying. And then Elton Barrett, let's see what that block shed is. I mean, I'm just saying, dude, 63 block shed for a safety. I mean, that's top tier. I think I'm gonna play him at linebacker because I don't think Jordan Hicks is actually supposed to be here. I'm gonna check his contract. Let's play him at 42. That's an okay safety number, and it's also a linebacker number, obviously. Let's take a look at quarterbacks. So number 2 overall, Darden. Also hidden development trait, 5'11". A little bit slower than our guy, but definitely more accurate. Saints definitely seem to have gotten their franchise quarterback. What's his dev? Star development trait, so our guys are already better than him. I gotta say, though, ratings-wise and, like, kind of player model-wise, wow, 77 overall and hidden. Looks really close to Jordan Love, because obviously number 10. That's probably the main reason why, but Let's take a look at Mr. Gregory. 16 looks kind of... Okay, you're 16 indeed. Start of... Okay, so far we made the right call. And then Driver went right after us to the Chargers. We already knew that they were going to take QB, and Buccaneers may have taken one as well if we didn't trade up. But 73 overall, Jared Driver. So, we're number 9. Interesting. So, back-to-back superstar quarterbacks who were picked 3 and 4 comparatively for the quarterback position to the guys that went ahead of them. Matthew Long, interesting, generational probably, with 92 stiff arm, 92 juke move. Very insane combination for a rookie. Superstar, I mean, it doesn't even matter. If you're a superstar, you're basically an X factor in the game anyways. It really doesn't make a difference. All right, so we give Kirk Cousins up to the Ravens for pick 62, Ben Cleveland and Taysom Hill. Only took those guys because they literally could not afford them. But we got our new third-string tight end, I suppose. All right, can't wait to see the Ravens win the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins, but Hayden is our guy. 75 overall superstar. Even if he wasn't superstar, that overall tells me we needed to start him, right? Like Kirk Cousins, 1 year, 34, but we only paid him 12 mil guarantee. Sure, it's an L, but we got a good trade off of him, and he shouldn't have actually ever touched free agency. That was just kind of a formality. He was technically supposed to be with us. But Zay Flowers, 77 overall. We'd love to see him go up even higher this season. And then defensively, there's still question marks, and the edge is getting older, but we have potential. Byron Murphy's an 84 overall. We're going to have to pay him. We have a lot of money, which is a super positive, and got a couple of nice cornerstone pieces. So we're hoping we don't have to spend too much on Jefferson, and that Byron's not asking for much more than like 14 per. All right, so we have 123 mil. Thankfully, Justin Jefferson's actually interested, because imagine him starting off with wanting 30 per, but not being interested. So we basically offered him, 31 per, which could be worse. Byron Murphy, like we talked about, 14 mil or less. That's kind of on par. A 4-year 50. Nice. Za'Darius probably needs... I don't think Za'Darius... I mean, there's a good chance in real life Za'Darius doesn't even make it to this point, so... I think we need a new edge rusher. We have a lot of money, though, so we could probably get one in free agency. And I didn't expect myself to be a big Harrison Phillips fan here, and I'm not. I thought his block shed was base 84. It's 84 with the boost. No, thank you. So we have a lot of money, and not anyone to pay. That's nice, Bonner. Bro, this division is nutso mode right now. Oh, the Packers broke the chain of trust. All 3 teams at the top there were 10 and 5. Then everyone lost in week 17. I was like, what? And then, of course, you can see us and the Lions lost, but the Packers continue to win. So we lose the division, but with a brand new quarterback and a couple of different positional changes in general, we still make the playoffs. Last 2 games sucked, but turned it around massively after a huge L early, and we shall see how the team played. After that point, quarterback Hayden, not bad, I suppose, for a rookie. Rushing was pretty damn good. Brown still a bunch of rushing touchdowns. Zay Flowers with a season up. I don't know what I would say season up, but Jefferson was pretty bad for his terms, but in general good. Same with Bishop. Hawkinson, not great. Blocking, pretty tame, but for Madden's concerned, especially the right tackle spot, lower than I would expect. Hunter with 11 sacks. Calhoun with 11 sacks. 8 for Za'Darius. 8 for Wooden. Not bad. Not bad at all. Interception totals, pretty tame as usual. Elliott was kind of good. Sheets, the rookie, was really good. Kick return, punt return game was weak, but probably should have a Rookie of the Year award for ourselves. MVP goes to Dak Prescott, as we all would have expected. And we got an Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year. This was a big season for us. Whether we do any damage in the playoffs themselves, huge season. Huge. As our quarterback probably will be X Factor because of his award, and Calhoun should be Superstar because of his award. Panthers again, though, huh? Nice. Wirfs they added. Sweet. End of the game. Oh, my. Carolina with a touchdown. Here it is. Here it is. Hey, we scored more points than that last game we had. Total. And it's only the first half. 14-21. This quarterback's better. Down by 10. Oh, come on, offense, please. So Carolina with Stroud is just unstoppable, huh? They're the best team in football, I guess. I guess they're the best team ever assembled. Their roster sucks outside of their quarterback, but hey, a good team. Hayden did at least perform, thankfully. Pollard, as usual, pretty bad in sim, but on their team. Sterling Shepard, 168 yards of the touchdown. Okay, I'm sure of it. Darrisaw allowed 4 sacks. To Frankie Louvu. Oh my God, who coded this game? We've been Louvu'd. How is that even possible? Well, for our mentality's sake, I suppose the Panthers did make the Super Bowl, and did they win it? They did win it. Kind of curious to see how the Ravens finished. I imagine they made the Super Bowl or the playoffs, right? Unless they had themselves a bye week. So the Ravens with Kirk Cousins couldn't get it done, despite the fact that they were literally, well, it said pick 64. Did they win it the year before? I can't remember. Where are the Ravens? How? Okay, so I'm going to be trading, well, to be fair, it wasn't like a first-round pick or anything like that. Why did they suck? We have pick 33 from the Ravens. What kind of a season did he have? Kirk Cousins regressed hard, so obviously smart to okay, he's still 73, but obviously smart to get rid of him. I mean, it is a different, oh yeah, I didn't really think about it. I never really thought about the fact that, when the Ravens lose Lamar Jackson in game, which they almost always do pretty early, they're basically done for the rebuild because they're going to try to run with Kirk Cousins, dude. They're going to try to run with any quarterback they can because that's the way the scheme says to run it. He had 476 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. Oh my God, that is too funny, dude. Of course, the Broncos with Lamar. Lamar had himself a really good year. That's crazy. I did not think of that. I forgot that they don't adapt. Pretty unfair for us to keep that draft pick, but I'm going to keep it. I don't care. I don't care. It is what it is. Anything can happen in this league. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to lead a team to the worst record in football, but hey, that's not my job. They lost Lamar. I traded them an option. What they did from there was on them. Za'Darius, he's still pretty good. Had a pretty good season, but like I said, I don't even know if he's going to be here in real life in 2023, let alone that many years down the line. So I got to move on. Phillips must have got a nice little upgrade because he's now 83 block shed, but I still think I'm going to move on from him. Could re-sign him. It's not like it's impossible. It's just I think we might be able to do better. Get all this money. Our quarterback's on a rookie deal. Got the 5th-year option to think about in the future as well. Win time is now. Use the cap you've got to get the best available players at every position, which sadly at DT looks to be Harrison Phillips. I suppose Grover Stewart as a pure run blocker, and he's bigger, is better. And once again, I still don't know why Jalen Phillips does nothing in sim. Is it just a weird case of anytime, maybe there's just something to do with the scheme, perhaps? Because he's not a bad player. I'm willing to give him a 3-year... I mean, even a 3 or 50 is a little excessive, but I'm willing to give him some sort of test contract. But I don't know, dude. This is really bad timing for us to not have an edge rusher. I'm willing to do a 2-year 34. It's not great for us. It's not great for him, but it's better than he deserves after totaling 2 0-sack seasons. I've just got to imagine there's something to do with the scheme, right? It's got to be something to do with the scheme. Cornerback is fine. Safety, I suppose, for another season is fine, unless somebody really worth it comes out of the woodwork or the forest, if you will. I don't know if we're going to go for anyone in free agency outside of who we did. Surprisingly, we actually got Phillips. We got Grover Stewart, which wasn't a surprise, and then Elijah Mitchell on a 3-year 12.9. Jesus, slow down. Hey, there's no need to rush. Just relax a little, okay? Let's all just relax. I did try to get Brandon Cooks on a 1-year 14, but decided to go to the Panthers instead, which I don't blame him. This is the one time where we get cucked out that I actually think it makes sense. A 1-year 10 versus a 1-year 14. However, he is joining the team that just won the Super Bowl. I really wanted a true number 3, even though Cooks has played like a number 1 his whole career pretty much. But being able to sit back and be the number 3 would have been nice for him. Maybe Hamler. His catching's not the greatest, but his route running's pretty solid. Release sucks. I'm just going to stick with who we got, I guess. Oh, I also completely forgot to look at DevOps. Hayden did not go up in Dev. However, Mr. Zay Flowers did, which is nice. 2 really good wide receivers, which you'll love to see. And then, sadly, Barrett didn't go up, which is a huge loss. We're going to have to draft linebacker, but Calhoun did. Superstar development trait, so... maybe draft DT for the future, or you just keep rolling with the rookies, or the free agent veterans. Because a guy like Stewart's not bad to play that DT1 spot. 83 overall with pretty damn good block shed, 86 block shed. You're not going to be able to get that right out the gate. So if Phillips has a good year for us and the offense plays like it did last season, we're back to the playoffs pretty much guaranteed, and then who knows the limit, right? So trying to add some depth for the future, get a new linebacker one, and outside of that, we don't really need to worry about the actual starters at this point. It's really just thinking about the future. So Houston's willing to give me 33 next year. I really want like 45-ish because I have a couple of 2 to 3 players. I'm going to trade with Houston, but I'm going to end up using pick 33 to trade back up, I think. So there's that. What do they end up taking? It is a guard. Questionable. Definitely questionable. Got to remember to trade that up, though, because we traded with the pretenses that it's worth 33, but I'm not the one taking the risk that it's 33. Absolutely not. And Buffalo from 45 and 109 will move up to 33, which will land them Marcus Streets. Interesting. Of course, at this point, I have 2 linebackers in this round. I'm kind of willing. I really want the middle linebacker more, but I'm willing to take either one, so I'm going to move on till one of them is gone. Unless I pick 11, they're both there, then I just take the one I want. Justin Tucker, the quarterback, getting himself another chance, but a different position. And they're both there, so we will trade, or we won't trade. We will select him. I believe that is Eric Key. I do have... Where's the other linebacker? This one as well. It's tough. But outside linebackers I've come to expect just aren't as good of dev usually as middle linebackers. So I don't know if I want to do that. As Key, I do technically know less about, but his base ratings are like B across the board, which is rare. He's younger, more athletic as well. Eric Key's my choice. Thank you for not proving me wrong, game, because if he would have been normal and the other guy was hidden, to be fair, they might both be hidden. That would have been very embarrassing. And I'm having a tough time with this pick because we need a true nose tackle, which Kendricks looks kind of decent, but I almost never take nose tackles this high, but the one time I kind of wanted to draft another nose tackle, there just isn't one later. So it's kind of between him and the left end Richards, who does look better technically. B power move, B block shed. Left ends are usually hidden. 2 to 3. I think I'm going to take him, actually. And he is hidden. Okay, so like I said, these left ends that are technically supposed to be DTs or just, left ends for a 3-4. Technically, they're usually hidden, they're usually good, and this case is true. And we trade 33 for Philly's 46 this year. Sure, Houston's pick may actually be 33, but we traded under, once again, the pretenses that it was worth 33. So that's why I wasn't going to take it. I wasn't going to take the risk. I was just taking that value, and then I move it on to the Eagles, who decided to agree with it. So it is what it is. The other linebackers there too, Trevor Davis, but I'm not going to go with him. I'm going to go with the safety, Mr. Trey Myers, 22 years old, 5'11". I don't like the fact that he's 22 because, he's not going to start this year, but we may need a starter for Savage next season. So Trey Myers is going to be my choice for that, hopefully. And unless he's a high overall, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Normal dev. I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of felt forced to make a play because, like I said, I didn't want to keep 33 next year because there's a good chance that it wasn't going to be great. That guy's fast as hell, by the way. We need to take a look, especially since he went to the freaking champion Panthers. Had him on my list, assuming that is the guy I had on my list, right? Oh, no, it's the wrong one. This is the guy that's fast as hell. I'm not going to take him, but 4-2-4. Jesus. But now we want a lineman. I don't know who's the best. I'd probably bet on Rhodes the most. I'm going to move down until we're down to just one. Trading Viv next year to move up 6 spots with the Falcons as our final lineman is there. I can't remember who was the best off the top of my head. I just remember the names, and then once we're down to last name. So hopefully this guy's decent. Okay, Rhodes. Yeah, he's not my first choice by any means, but Mr. Ty Rhodes is going to be the choice. 6'5", 22 years old, and he's hidden. I'm just going to take the running back I like. Screw all this trade. It's so tedious as well. I'm going to take the guy I think is the best out of the 3. I don't think I'm going to go with Sykes just because he's too small and EA hates those types of players. A little bit more speed from Sapp, but the fact that he is 1 year older plays a massive factor. So Matt Sawyer with a break tackle, a carrying. Welcome to the squad, and he's a hidden. We get a 5th next year from the Ravens. Who do they take? Leno. Let's take a look at who we landed, how good they were. Screw that. Mitchell's our new backup running back, getting taken away from us. 74 for the middle. We like it because that was our biggest need. 72 for the left end, and a bust at strong. Well, I can't say bust, but not a good pick. It's safe to say. 80 hit power, 71 zone. I mean, block shed's awful. Because of the 91 speed, he's kind of worth it a little bit. Not really. 73 for the guard, quarterback we don't care about. And then the running back, Sawyer, 75 overall. Looking kind of beastly. Kind of feel like maybe he's a waste. I mean, Mitchell will be the backup no matter what, though. So if we don't use Cook, this guy could be the starter. Star development trait, 45 is not it for running back, though. 31, I guess. It's going to be some Hall of Famer that I forgot about or something. It's like, you idiot! And then people get mad at me. Oh, by the way, our guard is a superstar. I'll show you guys any, force anything, because I'm pretty sure. Now, this is going to expose the hell out of me if it actually doesn't, but I'm pretty sure if you change devs, it shows right away, right? If I'm not mistaken? Yeah, it shows it right away. I think we've been over this once before, but just to confirm. So, superstar development trait, and honestly, depending on how Darrisaw plays, that might be our new left tackle. He's really good at finesse stuff, and Darrisaw didn't have a great season, and he's going to ask for a lot of money. He's on the 5th-year option currently. He looks really good, but why pay a guy when I have a superstar now that can obviously take over the job since he's finesse-heavy anyways? So we traded Coburn and a 6th-round pick to the Patriots for a 5th-round pick, so kind of like a pick swap, but he is a starting-level character for them. All right, Season 3 with the squad. It's getting good. We got a really good group of superstar plus players. O-line definitely could use some work, but, it starts with getting a guy like Rhodes who's superstar. He's raw, but he's superstar. And then Edge, Phillips, we're hoping can revitalize his career here with a 2-year 34. Maybe be the long-term guy. Maybe the hero from Minnesota. Obviously, we got a new middle linebacker. We got a new middle linebacker, too. And then we have D-line, Stewart, and such. Wait, did we already have Brooks last season? We already have Brooks last season, actually, but he's still new in my brain, okay? But it's a team that has a lot of potential. We're just hoping that maybe some of the guys that are up-and-comers, like Scene and some of the corners and whatnot, really have a great year here, as Calhoun and Wooden, I'm supposing, to have really good seasons. And then Flowers, Superstar Dev, was massive. Massive stuff. 121 mil with guys like Cook to re-sign, Darrisaw, and Scene and Booth. It's actually not that bad of names. I think no matter what, we kind of have to just pay Darrisaw. I don't care how bad of a season he's having. We have so much money. He's such a good overall, and he is having a really good season for us. 3 sacks in 11 games played, even if he really sucks. I think I'm on the side that the game is built to adjust for overalls. They don't care about how good your player actually is playing. So if you have a 99 overall tackle but they suck, the game still gives you a better chance to win because of that 99 overall. And as far as Cook goes, it's a very good chance that he isn't here in real life, but at this point, we're with him so much, might as well keep him. A 3-year 27. That running back we got is kind of useless, but it is what it is. And then Savage, I really didn't expect to like him so much, but 82 overall, 82 zone. I mean, he's good enough, right? Kind of debating on, even if he doesn't want to, he isn't the starter, a 2-year 9? You could, but, please. And then Stewart, depending on how hard he regresses, maybe stays. And then Lewis Scene. He's had a really slow start, but the amount of money he's asking for, a 5-year 30, is super good for us. Not the worst for him. And then Booth, he's a number 3, but if you're him, would you even want to stick around? 4-year 24? Oof, man. I mean, I knew it was a low ball, but I mean, it's more than he asked for, technically. Headed to playoffs, which we will not be partaking in, as we finished 7-10. I don't know why, but here we are, I suppose. We were 4-6 at one point, and I think it was right here we had the slide, and I was screw it, I'm going to change Atlanta's playbook. So we went 3 wins out of 4, but then we lost the last 3 anyway, so I don't know what it is. Maybe Jalen Phillips is trash, and if he is, that's going to suck, but more money. Didn't lock him up too long-term, so we're okay. Look at DJ Chark on the list, by the way. Hayden was okay, but definitely a down year. Dalvin Cook was pretty good. Overall, the touchdowns were lower than normal. Zay Flowers didn't even get to 1,000 yards. Hawkinson with 881. Man, that's a little bit of an L. I will say, though, Darrisaw played out of his mind this season. Sack totals, Hunter with 13. Phillips did get to 7 at least, and then Wooden with 13.5. So it seems like whoever is the sub-DT is him. Murphy could be an X factor, probably not, though. Elliott with perfect kicking. Sheets with really good punting. Chase Brown with 2 kick return touchdowns. It is rare that anyone gets 2 touchdowns in a single season kick returning, especially in-game. But, of course, Hurts on the freaking Packers. But for it to be a non-already established player, even more rare. Any award wins? No. who that? What? That just looked weirdly spelled. Danielle Hunter was number 2. Really? That sucks. Best quarterback, apparently 10th. Running back, number 6. Wide receiver, number 4. O-line, number 3. D-line, number 4. Linebacker, number 1 at least. Number 7 as well. DB, number 4. Kicker, number 1. Jake Elliott goes up in dev. Nice. Well, wasted season, but Jake Elliott's a star. Hell yeah, brother. Definitely worth it. Clearly. Wooden. X Factor? Question mark? That'd be nice. Seahawks versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. With the winner being the Chiefs by 1. What a close game. Offensive dev-ups, none as expected. And the defensively, Wooden went up in dev. And I believe that to be it, but that's kind of what we expected, right? So Wooden's an X Factor now. A couple times now we've taken Wooden. He's been kind of a beast, so don't know how much it's going to cost to keep him on the team, but definitely want to do so as he's been really good for us. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can change here. Phillips, I think you let him roll. You let him roll. So, like, what's the best thing we can do? Maybe, I don't know. Like, I don't think we can do much for the defense. New strong safety, obviously, but outside of that, I mean, the team's good. It's a good team that just needs to keep developing. Offense, I guess you upgrade the O-line a little bit. Maybe Rhodes just plays center or somebody plays center. Buchanan was drafted as a center, wasn't he? Back to center you go, I guess. Power blocking sucks, but what can you do about it anyways? Yeah, I think he moves to center, and we're good on the offensive line. You know, Rhodes goes to guard. There's not much I can do. I think other than like a really good safety and free agency, we save most of our money for guys we need to re-sign and just hope that the team's better next season, as it should be. It's a good team, one of the best in the league, and it's super young, and there's not many positions we need a new starter for, if any. So Stewart is an 82 overall. How hard did he actually regress is the question, though. He didn't really regress that hard. Like I said, though, kind of similar to the Harrison Phillips situation. I'd rather let him go to free agency, see if there's any better options, and then last second just take whoever is remaining. And then Savage, we're kind of risking it all on safety being good in free agency. But even if it isn't, we can probably just draft someone with one of our decent picks, because obviously we missed the playoffs at 7-10. Should have at least like a top 15 pick here. I guess it's important to know before we look. So what do we got? 11, 43, 75, 107. Fair enough. I mean, you could definitely get a safety with that pick if you really wanted to. But let's see what's in free agency with our insane amount of cap. Maybe there's a really good DT and safety combo, and we just win the bowl this season. Who knows? Like I said, we're high overall. We somehow missed the playoffs. Not really sure how. Sauce is a free agent. Then we went down the list. I didn't see much of anything. Donovan Wilson is a superstar X Factor, huh? Interesting. Any safety-age? Cisco, I guess. 80 zone. Daxton Hill is there. In fairness, he definitely looks pretty bad. I would probably rather go Cisco at this point. I guess we offer Cisco some sort of cheap deal unless there's like a really good corner of only zone coverage capabilities, which doesn't really seem to... Oh, Emerson. But I'd rather just... I suppose rather just go Cisco. Kind of a bigger safety, if you will, kind of. Trayvon Walker is here. Jaguars just unloading in the free agency. Sad part is, though, DTs, there's not really a lot going on here. I think we either just start who we have or draft a new one. Lane Johnson's a free agency player. You'd almost never see him in there. 36 years old. That's kind of crazy. Tyler Smith always getting a lot of money, but he is so worth it. All right, pretty low deals, but very solid depth players. Probably will start Cisco, in fairness. We get them both. Donovan says no, but Cisco a 3-year 20, and then this is a 2-year 12. Nobody wants him, yet he's holding out. Like, what are you doing? You're holding out for nothing. A 2-year 12 for Donovan Peoples-Jones, which I really kind of want to put Zay Flowers at the 3, but I just think that's not going to happen. He's so good for his rating, though. Like, 94 jumping, insane catch in traffic and catching, very good release. You know, route run's a little iffy in fairness, but, I mean, he's a good player. He's definitely a good player. He's a new solid number 3. That's when you take a pee-pee and a poo-poo, and it's just clean. And you may call me crazy for this, but I am trading pick 11 to the Buccaneers for Vita Vea, the 91 overall, and 72. I like this move because they have Jalen Cobb, another huge nose tackle who has superstar development trade. And, of course, Vita Vea is 31, plus needs a contract this year. We're a little bit closer to being there right now than they are. I think this pick can probably get him a quarterback, which they apparently, Tanner McKee hasn't been the guy. What is their other draft pick? Pick 8 and 11. Maybe that's a trade up to get to 1, whatever it is. I don't hate the trade, obviously, and, it gives us an immediate need. Could this be the season? I'm just saying, it could be the season because of that move. 85 wide receiver 2, 99 wide receiver 1, 95 running back 1, 94 tight end. I mean, realistically, this team is super loaded right now, and Vita Vea only adds to that as a 91 overall 31-year-old. Sure, he'll probably regress a little bit, but he is solid. 88 block shed, 85 power move with all the abilities in the world. Super strong. I think that was a smart move. Pick 11 is high, don't get me wrong, but that was one of our biggest glaring needs, and we have just solved that. All right, we're in the draft, pick 11. There are 2 decent safeties, and I am going to take, if there are one, I mean, there are 2 to 3s in fairness. If they're there, I'm going to take one of them, and they're both there. I don't know who's better. I think Dell's slightly better, but once again, the traditional move. I take whoever's best available. Maybe I should just take one. Ooh, no. I might just take whoever's there, like whoever is better. So let's take a look. Obviously, if they're good enough, they could steal the starting spot, but we're kind of looking at them right now as a backup. 4-2-4 obviously looks really good. 6'2", 206 B zone coverage. And then this guy who has no man coverage at all is younger but slower, Nathan Wiggins. I don't know who's better. I think I'm going to go with Marvin Dell. He looks a little bit better in my opinion. And he is hidden. 91 speed, 89 excel. If he's 91 speed, 89 excel, is Wiggins like 87, 88 speed? What the hell is that? He's slow as hell. We are now at pick number 8. We also have actually, no, pick number 8 is the trade that we made. Safety is still like, I don't know if that guy's great. I think he is. Safety / corner still on the mind, if you will. We could go with Blackwell. Donovan Blackwell, really good zone coverage, not bad man press, catching, all that good stuff. Decently fast, but we don't really need a corner right now. So if we think that safety we just got is like the future at the position, there's really no point in making any more plays, right? Do I not take one of the linemen instead? There's a couple that look decent. I would say Creighton looks the best, right? And he's 21. I'm going to take Teddy Creighton. Normal dev. I mean, it was bound to happen sooner or later. It's good. I'm taking Donovan Blackwell after all. And he's hidden. 94 speed, 91 excel. If we didn't have that extra pick, obviously I don't make a trade up for him, but we had the extra pick from the trade down. Technically, that was, 11 was our own pick. But, you get the gist of it, right? Pick 11. A lot of day 3, so I don't know who's actually there. And the DT is there. Tolbert, the nose tackle, 6'4", 358. And he's hidden with 99 strength. I will be honest, probably won't matter. But in case it does, it's a nice pick. And we're going to trade up 2 fifth-round picks to take our final player, which is Borden. He is a 6'5" outside linebacker. Phillips needs a contract. Maybe he's not the guy. Doubt Borden is the guy, but I've seen a couple of hit-ins late in this situation. So Lance Borden, he is 22, which sucks. He's also normal dev, which sucks. But 84 speed, 87 excel with a B finesse. All right, let's take a look at the overalls from our draft. Did we actually draft a starter? 73, 73, 74, 74, 68, and then I took a 6th-round linebacker before trading our 7th-round pick away. I don't know who's good, who's great. We'll take a look at the other safety, as obviously we're going to compare him directly. 78 zone coverage is pretty good, though. What is his dev? Obviously, it'd be great to have Superstar. We took this guy over the other one. This guy's older, so, that's a question mark. Star dev, big question mark, but, I felt like he was worth it. Teddy Creighton, oh, yeah, he was normal. Damn, son. He's not bad, but Ed Ingram over here. Relax yourself. Blackwell, don't really need the cornerback, but depending on his dev, maybe he's better than the safety we just took. Blockshed sucks, though, so yeah, he does have that zone. I think he is just going to be the cornerback 4 or whatever for long time's sake, and he is star, but he's a good player, I guess. Maybe we can't really do anything with the DTs or the corners we have now. Speaking of DT, Cedric Tolbert, 99 strength, 76 block shed, but his power move is only 65, which is awful. Could he be a superstar? We've seen 2 superstar nose tackles now. Could we be seeing a third? We can't. The Buccaneers have one, and I think the Broncos. I don't know. The Broncos or The Colts might have had another one. But let's take a look at the safety comparison. I also kind of want to see what the... who the hell was it? The Buccaneers took with our pick. So their own pick was 8. Ours was 11. They took a 75 overall. Randy McKinney, who is 86 speed, 87 excel, 81 finesse move. It's a pretty good player, especially if his dev is higher than star, which... Yeah, they took a... Okay, so say what you want, but they definitely made use of that. Oh, that was just first round. I was like, the Bears had only 1 pick. All right, the team for year 4. There is a maximum of 5 years during our rebuilds, and this is year 4. However, there are 2 ways that this rebuild ends this season. It is 1, if we win the Super Bowl, obviously, and 2, if this super ultra stacked roster misses the playoffs yet again. There is no chance a team this good can miss the playoffs. 87 QB, 95 running back, 99 wide receiver, 94 tight end, 85 wide receiver 2 tackles that are basically 90 overalls. The interior is great. And then defensively, after adding Vita Vea, there is basically no weakness on the defense. Sure, the safeties could be a little bit higher, but, you know, so could the corners, in fairness. But as far as realism goes, I don't know how many teams are this stacked compared to us. Like, we have a 90 outside linebacker, a 91 DT, an 88, cornerback 1, 87 right out. Wooden will be like a 90 by the end of the year. Calhoun probably an 86. The team is insanely good and young and just beastly, and because of the rookie deal, the quarterback's still on for some years now. I mean, this team can get even better potentially next season, but I mean, that's if free agency allows us to, which would probably mean Phillips would be gone, but this team is good. If it misses, I'm done. I'm out. It's just we've done what we can. EA has not allowed us to go any further. I don't want to spoil the season, or the rebuild, if you will, too much, but there's a pretty good chance that we're done after this season because EA's coding sucks. I'm just getting into the playoffs because the rebuild is officially over. This game, I'm going to be honest with you. If I didn't make videos on them, I don't see how I would find the will to want to play this game. I just don't. I mean, like, even just the simming is taken all day. Like, it's... Like, what are they like? They're like, okay, he's talking crap about the game. We got to fix this ASAP. They're like trying to figure out which teams need to lose for us to get in. 8-9 roster as, let's see. Once again, you got to remember, morale is going to be low because, we sucked. A lot of the contracts, like everyone was red interest because it was all about Super Bowls. The Panthers who've won at least 1 Super Bowl, oh, look at Zedarius, how fitting, are an 89 overall. So, at best, they're worse than us. We are a 90, yet we can't even go 500 now. Back-to-back seasons of just sucking. The Chiefs are a 92 in fairness. The Commanders are a 90, but, like, we're obviously better than everyone else. Definitely better than everyone else, yet we can't make it back to the playoffs. I don't know what the issue is here, EA. Why do you do what you do? I changed the playbooks like 4 times this season. 4 times. At this point, after the... No, it wasn't at this point. It was at this point. I was like, oh, maybe we'll turn it around. Maybe it was the Falcons. I don't remember. But I think around here is when I went to the Chiefs. Around here is when I went to the Buccaneers. Around here is where I went to the Cowboys. 4 straight wins, but, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Like, we didn't make it with really good playbooks in general. Like, what do you want from me? Like, I don't know what you want from me. And the offense wasn't even bad. The offense is pretty good, actually. Darisaw, 17 sacks allowed. There's like literally no consistency in this game. Vita Vea was at least worth it. Phillips with 9 sacks. Wooden with 8. I mean, I don't know what else I could do here. We're actually pretty broke as well. So like we're barely able to afford most of these players. Might even have to lose one. So the team is definitely not going to get better than where it is right now. I'll tell you that much. It's only going to get worse. Got best wide receiver, and that's kind of it. I'm done, though. I mean, I think we've, seen what can happen. Seen that Kirk is all right, and blah, 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 and such and so, and Flowers kind of worth the draft pick, I suppose, and things of the nature. The Commanders were, 90 overall like us, and I was about to say, I wonder if they're making the playoffs. They did. They lost, but they did. So what are the other 99? So as the Chiefs are at 92, I'm sure they made it. The Panthers were an 89. Of course, they made it. So basically, anyone nearly, even close to as good as us. And this was a weak conference. Outside of the Commanders, I mean, you're the number 2/3 seed with just 10 wins, pretty much. And we couldn't even make the playoffs over the Lions. That's a GG. That's all I can really tell you. We'll take a look at how the team looks real quick. First, I want to actually see the re-signings. I want to see physically how good our team actually would be if we did a 5th season, which I'm not going to do. I just can't be bothered. I don't understand how you can make such a good team and just not make the playoffs. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, there's no consistency, man. 2 for 38. It's a really expensive contract, but he's played really well in fairness. So we would keep most of the players, but we probably would lose our guard and Phillips. I just don't think Phillips he's been okay, but it's star dev. I don't think he's worth it. Maybe I'll give this team a 5th season if there's a sick edge rusher that makes sense that we can get. Other than that, though, I'm not going to do it. Ezra I'd not pay because it's a kind of expensive deal and he's not interested. So that's like a 2-year 28, which is like, why? Just use the actually, no, our guy was normal, wasn't he? So what does he use the rookie we've been working on? But clearly we don't have one. Let's go to free agency. So 53 mil. Would there be an edge rusher here for us to grab? And it's Phillips. No left end or no right end. Oh, we can get Sweat. How good was Sweat? He's 30, so he's like at minimum a side-to-side upgrade. He's not really an upgrade, if you will. 11 sacks. He had a pretty good year at 11 sacks. Every year before that was pretty bad, though, and you're going to be worse as a 3-4. How much would it cost us to get him? You'd obviously have to put the 3-year on, otherwise you're not going to get him. 3-year 69 is a yellow interest. Could I do like a 2-year deal? 2-year deal worth like 2-year 48? That's not bad, right? And it's not going to happen. So that is going to be it for this rebuild, as we're not going to get better from this offseason. Definitely not going to get better. So yeah, there's that. I mean, I did what I could. EA, continues to code the way they code. Let's take a look at the team, though. Quarterback is an X factor. Hawkinson is an X factor. So we have a 91 overall X factor quarterback who's going to be great for years but won't get a playoff win because this team is doomed. Jefferson's 99 overall with 4 upgrade points, so he's set for life. He's literally 99 everything pretty much outside of speed and excel, which what can you expect? I mean, that's pretty much impossible to have. Dalvin Cook's still really good as a 94 overall, who is 32 years old, by the way. He's freaking insane still. Obviously, the power back kind of stuff isn't great. Oops, went to the defense. Let's take a look at Flowers. 87 overall. Not the greatest, but 26. I mean, it wasn't like we took him 10th overall, so I'd say he was worth it. He was pretty good. What else do we have offensively? Don't really care about the O-line too much. TJ Hawkinson, the 95 overall X Factor. Very good route running, comparable to a lot of different wide receivers in the league, let alone tight ends. Very good catching. Speed's a little lacking, in fairness. D-line, Vita Vea, obviously, is kind of a regressing piece, and he wasn't ours to start with anyways. Wooden, 96 power move, 80 block shedding. Pretty damn strong on top of it. What else do we have? Calhoun, who is an 85 overall. Not quite as high of an overall as we expected. Block shed sucks at 70, but finesse is a 91, which is nice. What else do we have? Daniel Hunter doesn't really count. We lost. Let's take a look at, I suppose, Scene. Lewis Scene, 27 years old. Really didn't develop well. Just didn't develop well at all. There's not much we could have done about that. Safety definitely was a little bit of a lacking position. Booth is now a superstar, which is interesting. Byron Murphy, 89 overall. No man coverage, but great zone coverage. Once again, you could argue, oh, maybe you should upgrade them manually. The way they're upgrading, that's why you're losing. Well, the AI has to upgrade the AI manually, don't they? So, I mean, at the end of the day, we're comparable with, having players being all over the place with their ratings, because that's what the AI does to themselves. Booth as a 26-year-old superstar is definitely a bit more raw than Caillou Blue, because he kind of got cucked over, but just the way it is, I guess. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's how our Minnesota Vikings rebuild went. It's not a failure, because we had a really good team and we made the playoffs a few times, but just didn't get anywhere in the playoffs, which you kind of consider they're similar type of team to Dallas Cowboys. Always, maybe not always, but at least as of last year, close, but just don't really do much damage in the playoffs. Kind of like the Packers, ironically enough. I know they had a couple of championship runs lately, but it's kind of similar. You just don't expect them to you're like, yeah, maybe they'll win a game, but I don't think they're going to be my Super Bowl favorite team. I don't think it's going to happen. That's the NFC North for you. But yeah, that's all I could do. Sorry, Vikings fans. Sorry fans of rebuilds, EA has defeated me. Would have had one last season with a team that is worse than it is now. There's no point. There's literally no point. It's either, you know, just imagine they should make it, and if you think they should make it, well, there's no point in doing another season anyways, because right now we're just fighting against EA's sim algorithm, which is awful. It's just awful. It's always the same exact teams that are always good, but for some reason, Stroud, not even just Stroud, because we had that Panthers rebuild with where we were the Bears, they didn't even take QB and they were good, so it's just certain playbooks and scheme combinations that are just busted in the game, and we just keep seeing the same type of teams, and it's going up a uphill battle, and it's so annoying. But either way, I hope you guys still found it enjoyable. Besides that, we drafted a really good quarterback who ended up becoming an X-Factor beast, and Zay Flowers, which is a fun pick, and cornerback ended up working out. It just didn't happen. Even though we had Vita Vea who killed it, I don't really know much more we could have done. A lot of older players regressing on the team, like Vita Vea and Daniel Hunter, and Dalvin's going to start regressing more, and the O-line's going to start regressing at the tackle spot, specifically O'Neal, and we just lost our guard, so that's a downgraded position. The best we could have done was trade for someone, but with our draft capital, even with a pick 8 and 9, at best we're getting a 90-ish overall edge, but we're not fixing the left guard spot. So it's basically we're the same season, so there was just no point. If you guys enjoyed, though, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate your continued support on the channel, especially through these rebuild times. Hopefully it's not been too much videos for you guys, and tomorrow there won't be one, so there's that. Second channel, probably PK Plays will have Hogwarts Legacy, I'd imagine, and if not, either way, we're back on the main channel on Tuesday with probably Steelers and Seahawks franchise. I would suspect, I suppose. That's about it, though. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. Before I say that, what team would you like to see next? There's still a bunch of different teams, like maybe the Giants. Still haven't done the Panthers, debating on, I'm kind of hoping and waiting that the Panthers just say, this is our guy automatically, whether it's a smokescreen or not. As long as I have a name, I could be like, okay, for sure. Other than that, I'm just going to end up doing a Stroud rebuild. So, other than that, though, those are kind of the teams that are on the top of the mind. Falcons, maybe. But suggest a team. Let me know. But until next video, see ya!